Hi guys, welcome back to another fragrance video on my channel and thanks so much for tuning in again. In today's video I want to show you 10 awesome fragrances that you probably do not know about yet from my personal perfume collection. So this is kind of a deep dive into my personal collection and I've collected 10 fragrances that are pretty much unknown and that are really awesome in my opinion, so I'm going to present them to you today. And don't worry, it's not going to be super expensive with every single fragrance. They are pretty much basic niche fragrances, as well as one designer that is super cheap and in my opinion a really good alternative to many other fragrances out there. So if you want to know more about this, please stay tuned. And if you are new to this channel, first of all, please make sure to subscribe. The button is just below this video. It's free, and if you love fragrances, I think you are going to be very happy with the content I post on here. So first of all, let's start off with a pretty unknown brand from Switzerland. This is called Paranoia. It's a really awesome brand. They are really small and just starting out yet. They've just released their 4th fragrance and this one is the 4th fragrance. It's called Amoral or Amoral, or however you want to call that, and it's a super nice oud fragrance that reminded me personally a lot of Alexandria 2 by Serjov, or more of the Alexandria Orientale by Serjov, which is Alexandria 2, but with more oud and more punch. And this one has even more oud and more punch, and it also has some spices to give you some really nice compliments. So in my opinion, a really good alternative that develops super smoothly on your skin to Alexandria 2 if you want more oud and if you want more punch and more depth and more darkness. So that's basically what this does, and it is a surprisingly good compliment getter for me personally. So Amoral by Paranoia is my personal spot number 10 fragrance. On place number 9, I've chosen Whisky Nobile by Pharmacia SS Annunziata 1561 from Florence, Italy. So this one is a super nice cacao fragrance. So it has cacao, so if you can imagine smelling like fresh cacao, that's basically what this smells like. So the powdery notes that you have, the darkness, the chocolatiness that you have in here, and then as soon as it dries down, you get this really nice whiskey note, this really nice boozy notes that are in the name. So Whisky Nobile obviously is a whiskey fragrance, but they come only in the dry down, and this one really develops to a super smooth kind of skin tone scent. It's really awesome, really nicely enveloping warm fragrance that I absolutely love. It's Whisky Nobile from Pharmacia SS. Then next up we have a fragrance from a pretty unknown brand which is called Dear Diary. So that's the brand name, and the fragrance is called Desert Nights to Remember. And probably you guys know from Paris the brand Maître Parfumeur et Gantier, which is a super old school and really vintage type of brand, as you can see by the design of it. And these two are actually the same manufacturer. So this one is more of a modern twist to these fragrances. And the one that I want to talk about today is called Desert Nights to Remember. And it's really a fragrance to remember because this is a super nice musky rose fragrance that I absolutely love. It's probably the most soft and subtle rose that I've ever smelled in a fragrance. Obviously, this fly loves it as well, but it's just a very nice fragrance. And if you know, for example, the fragrance by Fragrance du Bois, Zara Oud, this is a super musky and super soft version of this fragrance. As you can imagine, a really awesome scent DNA. I absolutely love it. It stays around forever, so really good performance on this one. And this is called Desert Nights to Remember by the house of Dear Diary or Maître Parfumeur et Gantier. And as I just showed you, this is also a nice Maître Parfumeur fragrance that I really love. It's called Ombre Dorée. So this is their strongest amber fragrance that they have. They have Ombre Précieux, which is their most popular one or their most widely known one. It's also an awesome fragrance that I've owned in the past. And this one is probably the stronger and more refined version of this, and more bold version of Ombre Précieux, because this is just dry amber. It's just really dry amber, animalic, strong, uncompromising, you know, and it lasts around forever. And the nice thing is, since it is not a sweet fragrance, it's not sweet at all, it's just dry amber, you can also pull this off in the summer. So I did this, I did wear this when it was 25 to 30 degrees Celsius outside, which is a pretty courageous thing to do, I would say, and this one really did a very nice job. So if you are looking for a super dry, strong amber fragrance, I would totally recommend this one. On a completely different note, this is the next one, Mercedes-Benz Club Black. It is a fragrance that many of you guys probably know. It has a really funky design. I don't really like the design, but it's cheap and it's just a really good vanilla fragrance. So the juice inside here, guys, is niche quality. It's really a high quality fragrance. You can smell it. It's probably a natural vanilla, so it's not vanillin, it's vanilla CO2 or something, probably, because you can really smell the quality in this. It's a really nice vanillic fragrance, so a good alternative to the current Vanille Fatale, which has been reformulated, as I recently discovered, and does not smell anymore like it did in the past, which is super sad, you know, Tom Ford fragrance, and also probably a good alternative to Tobacco Vanille if you like the more vanillic fragrances. And this one is a really strong vanilla fragrance for spring, for autumn and winter, for autumn and winter. Staying with the vanillic fragrances, the next one is also quite cheap. It's Vanilla Flash. It's just a 30 ml bottle, but it's a really awesome vanilla fragrance by the house of Towerville. So this is Andy Tower's spin-off brand that he developed with more cheap fragrances. And this one, in my opinion, gives you the same quality as the Andy Tower perfumes, but just at a different price point, because this is just 69 euros in Europe for 30 ml. So it's really quite cheap, and it's just an awesome quality for that price. So you have this really nice vanilla in here, as well as with the Tower DNA, which you probably know by Lone Star Memories or L'air du désert marocain, which is one of his most popular fragrances, and you get the same quality for a different price point. So this is really awesome. Next up we have Francesca Bianchi Etruscan Water. This is my favorite Francesca Bianchi fragrance. It's an awesome musky fragrance that reminded me a little bit of Diaghilev by Roja Parfums, just because the top note is pretty similar, so it smells like a little bit like Diaghilev, in my opinion. You have lavender in this one, for example, and also some really nice musky notes. So this one is an awesome kind of animalic fragrance that you should probably try if you like the likes of Diaghilev. Then next up we have a unknown brand to me. So this is Elysir Paris, I believe, and it's called Extrait Noir, so black extract, you know, black extrait de parfum. And this one is probably the most animalic and the most wearable animalic fragrance that I probably know, because this one is also lavender, but it's also pumped with animalic notes, but without being too much. So they are super soft, super mellow animalic notes, really strong, however, and this one is the most soft animalic fragrance that I personally know. It's definitely one of the most creative ones that I've tried in my life, so I definitely recommend that you try this if you like lavender fragrances and you like animalic fragrances. You should definitely try this, guys. It's really an awesome fragrance that nobody really knows about. I don't know why, because it's just very well made. Then the last two I have, first of all, Ombre Superfluid by the house of Les Eaux Primordiales. Yeah, that's the fragrance. It's the most wearable amber fragrance, so in really big contrast to the Ombre Dorée by Maître Parfumeur. This is a super wearable one. It's really nice. It has a really nice sweetness, really nice spices in there. It's a soft amber. It's even softer than Grand Soir by Maison Francis Coq-Jean, but just in a very transparent and multifaceted way. I think if you like amber fragrances, you are totally going to love this one, so I can really recommend this. Ombre Superfluid by the house of Les Eaux Primordiales. Really nice house with some interesting releases. Not all of these are good, but this one is really awesome, so I can totally recommend this one to you as well. And the last one I have is called Soupir Clandestin by Jacques Solti. This is called in English, I believe, I don't really care about the name, guys. This is a super nice smoky rose fragrance with some really nice musky notes. If you like, for example, the fragrance Salam by Anfas, if you like Accento by Sergioff, if you like other fragrances that are kind of fruity but also have this kind of powdery and smoky notes, then this one is for you as well, because this is the most awesome smoky rose that I know. It's like a fragrance that I personally know called 17 Rosso by Roberto Golini. but in a very summery type of way. So if you know this fragrance, which is a strong extrait de parfum kind of fragrance, and you project it into summer, then this is what you get. So this is a smoky rose with patchouli in the base and a very summery kind of twist to it. Absolutely awesome fragrance that I recently discovered. It really blooms as soon as the temperatures go up, and I absolutely love this one as well. So this concludes my list of my top 10 fragrances that are pretty much unknown but that smell awesome. If you like this video, please leave me a thumbs up, and why don't you comment today your favorite unknown fragrance that totally rocks your world in the comment section down below. I'm super excited to read about this, you guys, so thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video. So yeah, bye bye, and yeah, keep it up.